Alright boys, we got the triple threat of voice acting and a cornucopia of bullshit on X with the Game Awards, and then we got the final news, which might be for the better, Walking in Fog with Silent Hill. This is a triple threat gaming news update, and I will be covering pop culture and also all the things I failed to address in my last videos. The first topic is going to be about the YongYea controversy. The second topic is going to be about a Silent Hill production studio being created by Konami, and the third topic is going to be talking about people utterly losing their minds over the Game Awards 2023 and the nominations, and I just like throwing peanuts at the peanut gallery. I love laughing at the circus. Let's get into it. First and foremost, YongYea is the first topic of today. YongYea made his grand appearance in the Yakuza 8 demo, and it was pretty shit. His voice was very underwhelming, very disappointing, not really befitting of the character of Kiryu whatsoever. And I made a successful video on this a couple of days ago, shitting on the voice just like everyone else did, and it got a lot of positive attention. And I just want to clarify a few things with that video and give some updates. Some people asked me, did I hear about the karaoke session breaking the law? Did it get any better? Listen to other clips. People encouraging me. Listen to other clips, please, before you keep judging. Well, I did. I listened to YongYea and that yee ass monotone fucking auto-tune voice when he was singing, and I still didn't like it, and I still didn't think he improved, and I still think that it was a far cry from him trying to say that he's going to improve and fix the voice, telling us this, shitting on Chris Pratt, telling us this, and his voice still sounds like his normal speaking voice when he's Kazuma Kiryu. Look, people, sometimes I want to be nice about this to the folks in the comment section of that video. Sometimes you can call things from a mile away. I don't know if you're aware of this, but sometimes you can call it, because I knew at the RGG summit when YongYea was sitting there with his like gobsmacked face, and he was telling people, I'm going to fix the voice, don't worry about it, here's a sample on a regular microphone that's not really a studio booth quality material mic, I'm going to fix it, don't worry. But the first thing I'm going to do during this whole situation is just block every single person that's not feeling it. I knew he was insecure about it, because what do insecure people do? They run, they hide, they can't take the pressure. Therefore, because of that, I knew this was going to be a situation where it will bubble and bubble and bubble, and I said this on Twitter, I knew it was gonna be a big bubble of shit, right? I call it YongYea, young shit, a big bubble of shit, and then it just explodes all over the place. And that's exactly what happened. During the RGG summit, the drama was like very minimal. There were folks deciding to give him a second chance, and then it just got worse and worse and worse when we actually heard the voice in game, and then at that point the fate was sealed. The deal was sealed. No going back. It's in the game. No going back now. I don't think that YongYea is the worst voice actor in the world. I don't even agree with that notion, and I don't agree with the notion of people saying that Yakuza is ruined because of it. I don't think this franchise is destroyed because of an English voice actor where you can easily decide to switch back to the Japanese dub. I think those topics in particular, when people over exaggerate that in their videos, that is just sensationalist nonsense. That is basically putting down the entire game entirely to make headlines and clickbait material. Oh, YongYea ruined Yakuza. Like, fuck. All right, like, does it ruin your enjoyment of the game? No, just turn it off and play on Japanese. Like, do what every sane, normal Yakuza fan has done for the longest time, which is play that game on Japanese anyway, even though some people did, like Daryl, play it on Japanese anyway, and the problem is solved. So I thought that was sensationalist headline nonsense from certain people making videos on this. I also thought that folks saying that I said YongYea is trash in every voice role that he did was very, very not candid, not sincere, because I'm only shitting on him as Kiryu. I heard his voice in JoJo, it's fine. Poochie's fine. I heard his voice everywhere, it's fine. It's fine. His demo reel is good. His range is actually great. But he's not really Kiryu. I'm sorry. I don't believe he's Kiryu. I believe he doesn't have the chops to be Kiryu. And if he does, if he does and he has all this range, right, that I'm talking about, why not go back and post and fucking redo it? Maybe that's why they delayed one of these dubs. I have no idea, but currently I don't like it. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling his voice as Kiryu right now. It's just his normal indoor voice, which is funny because he shot on Chris Pratt for basically having his normal voice being utilized as Mario, and that's quite ironic. That's why people have been throwing that in his face, and rightfully so, because he just kind of shat on another guy for the same thing. Now, what else did I miss in the comment section? I'm trying to remember everything. I think one guy got on me because my mic peaked. Now look, motherfucker, I'm excited. I'm not gonna lie. I saw this downfall from YongYea from a mile away when I got blocked during the RGG summit, and I told him if he keeps acting like this, he's going to be ostracized. And I was right. I was simply right. I said his attitude sucked about this whole situation. He should improve his voice, just like the Persona 3 cast of the remaster they're doing. They didn't go out and like assault people online because fucking folks are saying, oh, you're unfit to be in those roles. The originals are better. They came out, busted it out, and shut people up. They made those people eat crow. That's what you have to do to prove people wrong. Make them eat crow. And that's exactly what happened. What did YongYea do? None of that. He kept blocking people. He kept fucking being a drama queen over it. And what happened was he got blown out. It's just one of those situations where it's like, I saw it coming from a mile away. If you get on me for my mic peaking, I'm going to tell you flat out, I don't care. Honestly, because I know I'm not a professional voice actor. That's a whole different ball game to me. And if you're going to say some shit like, well, your mic was peaking, you don't pay attention to your audio, motherfucker. Look, there's content creators out there. Their mic peaks when they yell. They scream. One of my favorite content creators I got into so far, and this is new, I watched Jinxie. Jinxie is a streamer for Rainbow Six Siege, and he basically screams a lot on the mic, says he's gonna put people in coffins. It's funny as shit, right? Thousands of views, tons of followers, tons of likes, and he peaks his mic. So a mic peaking to me for content creators is not an excuse as opposed to a professional actor really doing an underwhelming role. Like, that has no bearing. Like, you could be popular as a content creator and have your mic peak. I mean, Tyler One, another one. All of these fucking new age COD streamers, those guys scream all the time, break their keyboard at that game, everything. It's not the same thing as professionalized voice acting where you have to be meticulous, know everything. Some people are audiophiles, like, extremely. You could be an audiophile too during content creation, but still, like, it's just of a lesser caliber of worry when you're doing like mic peaking on content creation as opposed to professional voice acting. So I never got that comparison. That was weird. I saw people saying I was too hard on YongYea and for being miscasted, and it's like, okay, Troy Baker, a phenomenal actor. He's great. I love Troy Baker as Joel from The Last of Us. I love Troy Baker as Higgs in Death Stranding. I love Troy Baker as Joker in Batman Arkham Origins. I like that actor, right? Just a perfect example. And Silent Hill fans, you know where I'm going with this. Him as James Sunderland did not work. Troy Baker as James Sunderland in Silent Hill 2 HD did not work because it didn't carry the same weight or sort of delivery of certain things or certain lines that Guy Seehee made. And that's no offense to him. That's no offense to Troy Baker. I'm sure he tried, but it did not fit the role, in my opinion. And I felt that a professional actor of his caliber, where he is good in my mind, but he was not good as James Sunderland, he was miscast. That's not shitting on his work. Like I said, I said it before. YongYea has great voices elsewhere, and he has range, but he is not a good Kiryu. As my phone goes off. Always during these recordings, my phone goes off. This situation was a long time coming. Ever since the RGG Summit, I kind of figured that YongYea would have been blown up to these massive proportions, and I don't think the Chris Pratt summary of what people were saying, where he tried to kind of shit on him, was wrong, where he said that, you know, oh, you just do Mario in your normal voice. Well, you do that as well, YongYea. You do Kiryu in your normal voice with nothing really special about it. I don't feel bad in the slightest. I do think that he's a great voice actor. He's just terribly miscast, and you must understand why. I've heard all of the auto-tune that he was on, the singing, all the other clips. I heard that stuff. For the people mentioning that, saying that I didn't listen to later clips, give him a chance, give him a chance, give him a chance. Oh, how many chances am I supposed to give YongYea before he actually improves? When is the improvement coming? Where is it, fam? Because I'm not seeing it whatsoever. I think fans have to also understand that as well. Like, what is this, the boy that cried wolf now? How many chances, how many screams am I gonna listen to before it actually becomes the same vapid nonsense over and over again, and I just stop coming to the village? That's it. Because I heard it all before. I heard it all before. There's voice actors out there that will get the role spot on, completely embody the character on point at conventions, at cons. Phil Lamar, great voice actor, embodies so many characters, and yet I'm supposed to give YongYea thousands of chances. Right. Anyway, I'm done talking about YongYea. You can have your discourse in the comment section of that video. If you want to know anything else or any other further opinions, like I said, he did not impress me whatsoever with later voice clips, later reactions, and I just feel like he doesn't fit the character, and that's just my opinion. Let's talk about the Game Awards 2023 and how there was so much ire all over this. It is so much controversy, so many people going absolutely insane, losing their minds as usual. The first thing that happened was, I believe, it was a lot of Starfield reckoning, to the point where folks were like, they had a clear vendetta. They were like, there's Xbox tax. Xbox is once again heavily not worshipped in the media. The media does not give them any recognition, even though there's 4 nominations for Hi-Fi Rush, 1 nomination to my memory for Starfield. That's not good enough. Starfield needs to be shoved into Game of the Year status. It needs to be shoved in along with Hi-Fi Rush. None of these other games were better. Alan Wake 2 wasn't better. Baldur's Gate 3 wasn't better. Marvel Spider-Man 2 wasn't better. Resident Evil 4 Remake? No. Remakes don't need to be here. Get the fuck out of here. Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Tears of the Kingdom, none of those games sitting in the 90+ club is better than Starfield, according to the internet. I think if your game is even nominated once, that is an honor, even though it doesn't win. And I don't know how people do award shows, but if there is a jury, the jury has to vote on what they feel is the best of the best. Your individual game of the year is your game of the year. No one is taking that away from you. No one is ripping that away from you. Your favorite game will get snubbed. Your least favorite game will probably get more propagated on the Game Awards. It happens because it is an award show hosted by jurors from differing review sites and Geoff Keighley, not you. Whatever is in the recognition of your game of the year, if you feel that Starfield is your game of the year, then fucking scream it to the rooftops like I do. Like I do for certain games. It's not my game of the year, of course, but like I do for certain games, I scream it to the rooftops. That's my game of the year because that is the most important singular thing that really matters, and nothing else matters. Win or lose, you have to embrace that mentality. Your game of the year is your game of the year, and honestly, like, why does it matter that Starfield is not nominated in game of the year category? Some of these extreme Xbox elitist people have gone off the fringe. And there's no Xbox media bias. Dude, remember when fucking Halo was winning like game of the years left and right, back to back? Like, remember that? I do. When Xbox puts out products of magnificent quality, it's going to be appreciated and worshipped. And I strongly do believe, of course, now I don't believe in Metacritic and shit like that, but here's my analysis. If a game is not in the 90% club, and there's a game that's like an 80, maybe an 82, 81, and it goes against a 90 plus game, at most award shows, some of those games are just bound to lose against 90s. It's been nothing but 90 plus content for the latter half of the year. You can like Starfield, that's fine. You can say that the nominations don't make sense, that's fine. But one thing you can't say is how the latter half of the year brought out stellar content and bangers across the board, and the competition is fierce. You're going up against like Baldur's Gate 3. You're going up against Tears of the Kingdom. It's very, very hard to make educated decisions and to basically slim everything down to what is the best of the best, because those games probably are the best of the best for what we perceived this year. Like Baldur's Gate 3 was in the running for a lot of conversation. And that's kind of how the content, the communication of those games went. And I know everyone has like differing preferences and everything is all subjective, but again, when people get mad at that, Hogwarts Legacy saying, oh well, it's mostly a political drive behind Hogwarts. Yes, there is the whole political factor behind the drama with Hogwarts Legacy. I'm not going to take that away. Game journalists fucking hate Hogwarts Legacy. Like, it's a lot of them. Those hit pieces were coming out left and right. I would imagine they would hate Hogwarts Legacy, but it got stellar reviews from what I saw. And not only that, it sold well. Does it deserve a nomination in maybe a category that I could pop in my head that should probably be on the panel, like Best Open World? You could probably say that. Best Open World, Best RPG. If it was more nominations, it totally deserves a spot. Most popular game of the year, maybe if you do something like that. Yeah, sure, Hogwarts Legacy, right? But when you stack it up to all of the other things that came out this year, like RE4 Remake or anything in the 90 club, it pales in comparison. I love Hogwarts Legacy, but I don't think it's a game of the year contender. You can like a game and believe it's not a game of the year contender. I had that with plenty of games. I felt that about Ghost of Tsushima. It was a great game. It wasn't game of the year contender. That's what I felt like. I felt like some of the trappings of that game delved into the Ubisoft formula, which is what people praised it for, but it's also what felt repetitive about Ghost of Tsushima. It is what it is. Like I said, it doesn't matter. Most people are watching this show for the reveals of new games anyway over the awards section. That's what really counts. If you don't care about the show, then normally I don't get the idea of people still watching it anyway, despite not caring of the show or the awards section. Just watch the new games and that's it. Like, tune out for everything else. If your favorite game gets snubbed, it doesn't take away your enjoyment or appreciation of said game, because in your mind that experience is law. I don't understand the ideals behind someone's experience changing because their favorite game doesn't get nominated at an award event where Geoff Keighley is the helm of it and his opinion shouldn't mean shit to you. What means everything is what you feel is Game of the Year, and that's it. One last thing though, before I move to the last topic, I don't understand other people also saying that remakes don't deserve Game of the Year. Look, and they're saying, oh, the game was old, it's the same old game, why is it in the Game of the Year category? Look, if the fucking remake was a stellar video game, because you're judging off the premise of it existing and the ideals behind it and the morality, we're arguing the actual game performance and the additions they added to the game that makes it feel unique. And plus, Resident Evil 4 and the Resident Evil games, they have been reimaginings from the ground up, putting in new content, ideas, and expanding on things. Why is it not capable to be nominated for Game of the Year if the game was good? I understand harboring this idea of propagating these newer IPs, these new games that sometimes have a similar formula to other games where people don't want to admit it, where it's like, okay, here's copy and paste open world game. Well, they've done this before, they've done that before. Like, every game copies each other. It's all boiled down to who does it the best. And Resident Evil does great remakes. Great remakes, great games, severely improved over the original in certain areas. Why can't it be nominated? That's my question. You tell me, why can't I nominate this title for Game of the Year if the overall game, which is what we're judging, the game, the replay value, graphics, everything, if the overall game is still stellar, top quality content, why can't it be nominated for anything? You tell me. But again, it always cycles back to, well, this game's old. It was old. It was a previously established game before that won Game of the Year. We're propagating this up. Okay. And it's a new game made from the ground up. That's my gamer chair, just like, is all sorts of rusty right now. But as it's a new game made from the ground up, and the quality of life improvements really outweigh some of the games released this year. Like, sometimes we have like new IPs that are mid. Are you trying to say that RE4 is not better than some of those games? Like you tell me, fam. You tell me. Like, imagine if RE4 Remake came out in 2022 and you put that up against something like Callisto Protocol. I'm sorry, fam. I love Callisto Protocol. I thought it was an interesting game. I am one of the rare few that enjoyed it, but if you put RE4 Remake next to Callisto Protocol, then I'm sorry, Callisto's getting snubbed by Resident Evil. Is getting snubbed. I gotta pick. I like both games. I gotta pick the better game. So RE4 wins over the new IP. Hopefully everything turns out fine and people don't lose their marbles when this show actually happens. They probably will. It's all entertainment to me. I just look back at it and I laugh. You know, we laugh, we cry, we have a good time, and that's all it's supposed to be. But sometimes people be taking the show a little bit too seriously, a little bit too much like gospel, and that's where the unfun happens with the Game Awards. And I thoroughly believe that 100%, 10,000%. I personally believe that Geoff can come into someone's house and people will feel like he shat on the floor, and they'll be personally, you know, taken aback by that. And it's just like weird, man. It's just like, you know, You don't even have to watch it. Just wait until all the reveals are posted up on a social media site or social media platform. Go follow like Okami Games or something like that. Go follow Wario or something like that on Twitter. If you don't care about the awards, just do it. Last but not least, we're moving on to Silent Hill. Oh, I've been talking a bit, but Silent Hill time. This is the final piece of news and information where apparently Konami is creating a new Silent Hill production team. And I see the overhype already. This is the rebirth of Team Silent. Konami appears to be laying the foundation for a successor to the internal formal studio Team Silent, which developed the first 4 Silent Hill games. A recruitment page is advertising roles for a newly formed Silent production team and is giving those picked the chance to be involved in game production in a cutting-edge development environment. The page goes on to call it the Silent Hill production team, confirming ties to the survival horror franchise. In the Q&A section, Konami states that it's looking for hires who like action games and horror games, as well as people who like foreign dramas and movies that deal with serious themes. They also like works of heavy atmosphere and heavy themes. The publisher is currently looking for artists, planners, engineers, and project managers. More than a year ago now, Konami announced its plans to resurrect Silent Hill as a series with the remake of Silent Hill 2 from Bloober Team, a more indie-focused spin-off, Silent Hill Townfall by No Code, and of course Silent Hill F being done by, what is their names? I keep forgetting their names. Neobards Entertainment. This is interesting news. And there's the obvious as well, like Konami has fully entered game development after we saw they were doing that with Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, or I hate that name. I'm gonna call it Snake Eater Remake. So for the remake of Snake Eater, they have an internal team set up for that, and of course people knew after years upon years of Konami just completely blowing their fucking load and jizz on pachinko slots that they finally decided to enter serious game development yet again. And I do co-sign the idea. I would rather them do that than to focus on the weird slot machines and the shit like that and the fucking catastrophe of bad PR that they've been doing for the past couple of years. Finally, a step in the right direction. Finally, they're making games as they should, as we've known them for. Finally. I don't know though. Look. You can meet this news with skepticism. I am going to treat it the same way, because while it is good that they have a Silent Hill production team, there's 2 things. Number 1, why would I entrust confidence into a brand new Team Silent production team if Konami disbanded the first one? You ever think about that? Just think about that for a bit. The first Team Silent, Konami eventually got rid of. The people who made Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, and 4, gone. Just like that. I understand the band breaks up. Sometimes they get back together. In this case, though, it's weird because while I want a Team Silent to exist, while I think this is a great idea, I don't want it to end up like a Team Silent before where they disbanded, or a Visceral Games where they disbanded that, and now they're no longer the same entity anymore. Like, what is going on here? You have a great team doing survival horror games and you just scrap them like nothing. It's crazy. It's weird. I don't want that for Team Silent yet again. Or whatever they're calling Silent Hill production team, because that sounds like more riveting than new Team Silent or Team Silent Spin or something like that. Hey, baby steps, right? The second thing is that how do we know if they're going to live up to the quality of those games? We don't know yet. We have no exact idea. While I had an inkling in my head that this production team would be possibly creating the next Silent Hill remake in their own sort of studio, because there was the blurb of there being a plural for Silent Hill remakes coming in the future, more coming down the pipeline. I believe this entire idea was fostered on the notion of let's do things in-house. Let's see what we can get right. And it does make me wonder, why didn't they do that in the first place for Silent Hill 2 and they just handed Silent Hill 2 over to Bloober? Like, what's going on there? Are they going to have that same quality? Are they going to manage future titles right? We have no idea. This is all a wait and see affair, but I will say the idea, the premise alone, is good, but will it match up? It's too early to tell right now. It's way too early to tell if it's going to match up to anything important as the old Team Silent. I will give them a chance though, because I believe that is fair. We had this conversation in our Discord, and I think someone mentioned that they could honestly treat it like a CyberConnect 2 situation when they were making Final Fantasy VII Remake. Remember, CyberConnect 2 was working on that game initially before it went over in-house to Square Enix? Remember that? Like, they were the main team when they made that first big, not the one in 2006, I believe, with the PS3 or anything, not the tech demo, the very first trailer they showed for Final Fantasy VII Remake on PS4, that was CyberConnect 2. Totally different team. Even some of the combat looked a little bit different, and then they switched teams because they said, this is not going well. This is not going well enough with CyberConnect 2. Let's just make it in-house and let's make the game ourselves. Do you guys think that this could possibly happen to Silent Hill 2? Do you think that Bloober team, a snag might be hit somewhere, they're not good enough, and then all of a sudden it converts over into in-house development, which is why they're looking for people right now for maybe either another Silent Hill remake like 1 or 3, or are they prepping for failure because Bloober team is not getting it right and it will convert over into the in-house team? They'll take like maybe another year or two of development, make the game, and then you'll have Silent Hill 2 come out by the actual Japanese game developers. That has happened before. It's crazy that this has happened in history, and game development could change at the fantastic drop of a dime. Everything could go south. Everything could go belly up. You never know. But I will try to keep cautiously optimistic about Bloober's Silent Hill, because I am cautiously optimistic about that game. I will play it. But maybe Konami did make a lot of excessive outsourcing, and the creation of this team could prevent this problem from getting out of hand. We saw excessive outsourcing before when Capcom outsourced Devil May Cry to Ninja Theory, various games everywhere, all over the place. Resident Evil was no stranger to outsourcing, with ORC being done by Slant 6 Games. Yeah, we've seen that before, and their restructure was a product of excessive outsourcing. I guess now with Metal Gear and future Silent Hill games, they want to get ahead of the problem, because they know that, of course, Silent Hill is also popular, and they want to jump on that bandwagon of new survival horror remakes that Resident Evil shooed in with RE2 Remake. Why not make more remakes that people will obviously buy? It's also a marketing thing as well. We see that coming with developmental and everything. Just it being in-house is great, because now you can really focus on the kinks, and if Metal Gear Delta is really good, then you have a solid studio that can make Silent Hill games and Metal Gear games, and I'm pretty sure those are two big IPs. You might want to get a Castlevania going in there. Yeah, you might want to get a fucking good Castlevania in there. Make Symphony of the Night 2, have that in there. It's so many ideas. It's unparalleled. There's so many ideas you can go from. Those should be the big 3 IPs going forward for Konami, and then you can focus on more lesser things. They have an outsourced Contra coming soon. It's very interesting how this restructure is going, and I just want it to go well because we already saw the dregs of the past, and we already saw publishers and developers being dropped for absolutely just fuck all with Visceral, with Team Silent, and everything. And I don't want the studio to end up on the same path, and I think that's reasonable skepticism, to be honest. Anyway, this is Renegade Operative signing off. Finally, this is my whole triple threat topic video being done. I want to have a huge thank you to the people who come by, support, leave likes. I find that personally great. Appreciate your support. Hopefully you really enjoyed everything I had to say in this video. Thumbs up, thumbs down, you know what to do. I will definitely see you guys next time. I don't know what my next video will be, but hopefully it will be once again entertaining. And I'll see you guys soon. Later.